Alright, and now that your wing is all bloody and magnificent looking, we're going to lock this in with the final technique, which is using the Citadel plastic glue and the crappy brush to lock in all of the pink. You don't need to go over the blood for the blood god because it stays glossy, and we don't want to risk lifting it off of the model. So we're just going to go over the pink parts of the wing with the glue. We'll just dab it into our brush and dab it onto the model. I'm just going to lift that up so it doesn't make any noise. And try not to go over the same area too many times, because you risk lifting the paint off of the model. And this really ups the saturation of your colors when you apply this. Oh, I left a fingerprint on there. See, this is where you risk pulling it off the model, when you go over it when it's tacky. So we're going to try not to do that again. But you could see how much this ups the saturation of the colors on your model, especially the pink. And we want to make sure we're dabbing and not brushing, because if you brush, it will lift the color off of your model. Alright, and I'm calling that done. That is a extremely ultra gore wing for a winged hive tyrant. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, and hopefully subscribe. And if you want to send me pictures of your work, you can reach out to me on Instagram. It's pictor_deditus. I'll respond to any messages. I would love to see your guys' gored up models. And yeah, until next time, happy painting, and thanks for watching. Okay, now that your wing is all bloodied up around the edges and the bones, it is time for my absolute favorite step in the gorification process, which is going to be using Citadel's technical blood for the blood god. This stuff is awesome when you're creating gory effects. What we're going to do, we're just going to give it a little shake. And then we're going to use our number 2 brush, and we're going to add this on the hand and all of the finger bones and down here as well. And we're going to bleed it out onto the wing as well, the membrane of the wing. So let's start with the hand, and we're just going to put this on. And my favorite part about this is it stays glossy, like the glue look that we achieve on the model. So how this looks going on wet is how it's going to stay looking. Let's do down here first. And we're just going to fade it out onto the wing. And then we're going to touch with a dabbing technique up to the muscles and around the hole. And for this section of the wing, we'll do around the holes first, kind of fading it out a little bit. Then we will touch up where the membrane meets the muscle. And you want this to be messy, because that's what's going to give it that gory look. And then we will touch up the bone. Alright, now that you guys know what to do, I will check back in with you guys once the wing is all bloody. What's going on, guys? In today's video, we're going to cover my favorite part of the gorification process, and that is going to be blood. So what we're going to do is we're going to achieve this effect that I have on the wing, just on the back side. And I'm going to show you guys how I do that. It's really simple, it's really straightforward, and this video shouldn't be too long, so let's get right into it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our already painted wing, and we're going to start with some corn red. And with our number 2 brush, we're just going to block in all the areas that we painted over when painting the wing. All the areas that we want to stay red. And I'm going to do a little fade out on all of the corners of the wing here. I'll just flip this around. And then I'm going to do bleed out from the body parts onto the wing with the corn red. So we'll get here. And you really want this to have a bit of a gradient to it, fading into the pink, for it to look the best. So we're going to paint all of the bone on this particular model just straight blood. Okay. Do a fade, and we're going to do a fade as well around all the holes in the wing as well. And you can connect it to the faded out parts of the blood here. Just really go over the top with the gore. Alright, I'm going to finish this up with the corn red around all the areas in the bones, and then I will check back in with you guys when it's time for the next step.